Smoking till the stupid state, stay until it's late. Sweet like chocolate cake, talk just like the shit I roll off paper plates. Search for sweet escape because inside I feel I'm dying slow. I tell you all that.
What is going on, my dogs, man? It's another beautiful day in sunny Florida. We got another project coming back at you. So I bought, without any further ado, I'm just gonna hop right into it. Ready? We bought a 2004 Mitsubishi Ralliart Lancer. It's right here. Wham. It's honestly a cool little car for what it is. I wasn't necessarily even a Mitsubishi guy before I bought this thing, but I'm not a DSM guy at all. But dude, this car is like, it's kind of cool, honestly. I understand why people like these things. And so the interior's pretty clean. It's got cold AC. Clutch works really nice, 124,000 miles. No check engine lights, no BS. Drives really good. The interior is a little bleached out from the Florida sun. It's a one-owner car, no accidents. Camera fuzzed a little bit. It's got a little foggy there because it's a little hot. But yeah, man, and it's a Ralliart. So it's got ground effects kit, I think different lights, different wheels. And yeah, man, overall it's just a really nice little car. And it's gonna make a great daily driver for somebody. I picked this up for an undisclosed amount of money that I'm not gonna just divulge until I go ahead and sell this thing, because I'll probably release this video before it sells. But yeah, man, it's a cool one. So it needs a valve cover gasket. It's the only thing it really does need. And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I was actually already doing it. Then I always do this thing where I like tell everybody that I'm gonna film more things, and then I actually don't film more things. So I'm actually gonna film this one, and I got 20% left on my GoPro, and that's how far this is gonna go. So yeah, man, I honestly do like, the reason I liked this car overall was A, because of how clean it was, you know, everything. B, it came in at a pretty good price. And I feel like the inventory just has really sucked lately that's been coming through the auctions. So it was really a breath of fresh air to find something that was affordable and actually in good condition. So, and you know, another weird thing too is that it's a sedan. Like, look at it in the size reference to my M3. It's literally as big as my M3. It maybe a little longer, but that's about it. It literally is the same size as my M3, which is insane. So, and that's kind of why I mean, driving it felt really good too. It's on rails, and so I'm gonna film a little bit of that too before I drop this video. But I just really did enjoy this car for the couple of times that I have driven it. And I think that I've kind of figured out why people do like these things, you know. And so right over here, I'm gonna go ahead and hop into this. So I'm doing a valve cover gasket because obviously it's leaking. But I'm pretty sure that this little knot right here, like you can see it, that is the valve cover gasket. So whoever did this previously didn't get it to seal very well. And not only that, but it's been pissing oil everywhere, and now everything's really dirty. So I got to clean that too. But it needs it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done. So what I've done already is I've already taken the timing cover off, and the timing belt actually looks really good. And so that's actually a breath of fresh air as well. I should have probably bought spark plugs, but I didn't. It runs good. It doesn't need them. But I've kind of just started pulling my coils out. But look how oily this one is. You know, because it's right next to where that blowout is. And then, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pull the coils off. And I'm going to get this valve cover off. And hopefully be done before the sun goes down.
I'm taking a trip for a few days, and I'm on another veteran spirit loading with the toothache. And the world is fucking ending, but this packet is coming Tuesday, and we blowing like all of the bread before it's over. Fuck what you say, man, a low hanging fruit to take it first. And every man's weakness is a thirst, and I am nothing different than the worst. All that I got is my word and my work. Live and die just by the dirt, now I forever feel that curse. Goddamn, stick your dick up in it, softer than some boiled spinach. You were just a broken image. Hold on, man, I need a minute. Screaming at my girl in Yiddish. Bought a table to be finished to the dentist, then I roll to get some fucking permagolds.
It's a mag, watch your tag, going fast, and I'm creeping out the cut, searching for them biggies. I just huffed and puff, I'm an inebriated fuck, and I hiccup and pass a buck, sniff the yuck. Corona's got us stuck here another motherfucking month. I'm almost out of bud, I'm almost out of funds. The shit ain't a front, bitch, shit ain't a front. In the safety of my own home, I blow my head like a low jerk, all sick and it's a joke.
So, I'm sure you guys are all wondering like why I think this is a solid buy for 2,500 bucks, you know? And it really comes down to a multitude of things. A, the systems overall are quite simple. The car is very easy to work on, you know, it's easy to maintain. It doesn't have a lot of failure points in it, which is like something that's very attractive to somebody like me. But, you know, also you have to look at it from the perspective of like modability. Like modifications that are available to the car. Like there's a lot of aftermarket support for cars like this, and it's not an expensive car to get in originally. It's a great car for somebody who's trying to be introduced to like cars in general and car scene and like being an enthusiast, you know. This would be, and frankly, like cars that you could buy when I was young aren't cheap anymore, you know. Like 240s aren't cheap, you know. Miatas aren't cheap. GS300 is not cheap. There's a lot of cool cars out there that are simply unattainable for a college kid nowadays. So being like the price point is so good on this, and it's not necessarily fast. It's got the 2.4, and so it's 162 base horsepower factory off the line. I'm sure it's got less than that now, you know. But I mean, I'm driving this thing stock as is, right? And the exhaust, it has like a nice little drone to it that an enthusiast would really like. You can speed shift this thing too. It's got a really responsive shifter. The driving experience overall of being in this car is actually really good, you know, for the money that you're spending on it. So it's like, that's why I think this is a solid buy for somebody who's trying to get into cars and wants an enthusiast vehicle, but may not necessarily be able to afford a G37 or a G35 or a 350Z or, you know, all of the other cool cars that are out there. Even Honda Civics are getting expensive nowadays. To get an EK hatch or like even an EK sedan is going to run you $3,000 or $4,000 in good shape. Forget if it's motor swap, you know what I'm saying? So it just really boils down to the type of person that would be buying this car. But, you know, a young enthusiast, a young person who wants to learn how to work on cars, this would be a great option for him, just right out of the box. And it's not going to break the bank doing it. And when he gets it, he won't have you spending a fortune trying to maintain this thing. It's actually quite simple. It's a very easy to work on car. And that's what I liked most about it. And you got four-wheel disc brakes, you got everything that you'd want out of a nice little performance car, and you do it for $2,500. It's like, how can you beat that, you know? You really can't, in my opinion, you know? There's not a lot of cars out there that you can buy for $2,500 that have no check engine light, 124,000 miles, ice-cold AC, nice bucket racing seats, you know? Not necessarily racing seats, but a good bucket seat that's suede. The interior's nice on it, and it's cheap. It's super cheap, and that's like the best part, you know. So what think in your head, what other cars could you imagine? Oh, there's a truck coming up. What other cars could you imagine yourself buying for $2,500? Seriously, an enthusiast vehicle. Like, just put two and two together. There's nothing out there anymore. Cars are getting expensive, and I just think this is an overlooked vehicle, you know. Like, people wouldn't necessarily think that they're just gonna go buy a Ralliart Lancer, you know. But if you don't mind driving a front-wheel drive car, this is not a bad option. Let's get into it. Ready? Wham! There she goes. Get the fuck going, Jesus Christ! Exhaust sounds like that factory. I kind of like that, you know. It doesn't sound stock, you know. It's not annoying because of how quiet it is. It's almost got a nice little drone to it that's enjoyable. And so, yeah, man, overall I think this is a good buy. I really do. I think this is a great buy for somebody who, you know, is young who's in high school still or going into college and kind of wants to get into the car scene and doesn't really know what to buy or, you know, where to go, and he likes front-wheel drive cars, or they like, or she like, or whatever, they like front-wheel drive cars. And yeah, man, I really do. I don't think you can go wrong with one of these as long as it's in good shape. You know, this one's solid. It's got a couple of issues here and there, but nothing that's unrepairable or nothing that would be a deterrent to purchasing it. And so I think that's really what would be a good aspect, you know, to it. Fuck, I don't even know what to say anymore. So I know too that people are gonna freaking, this is a different time that I'm filming this, but I just had another thought. I know that people will be like, oh, this car's whack. You know, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, blah, blah, blah. Insert reason here as to why you would dislike such car. But right here, literally, because your opinion isn't always applied to everybody else's logic or opinions. So this may be exactly what somebody would like. You know what I'm saying? It may be everything. It's front wheel drive. Some people enjoy that. Some people want a 5-speed Mitsubishi. It's 4-door. It's got a nice interior. You know, there's a lot of positives and a lot of things that would be good. Just because it's not a Honda or it's not a Nissan or a Toyota doesn't mean that it's any less cool than something else for some other people. A lot of people like DSM cars. I'm not a DSM guy. You know, I've never driven DSM cars, but that doesn't mean that they're not cool and they don't have value. I think the Evo is a really rad one, honestly. And so, you know, I think it's definitely to be said that this has all the qualities of a car that somebody would really like to have, you know? And so, I think that it's justified to say that this is a good buy for under 2,500 bucks. Or $2,500, you know? It's hard, you'd be hard pressed to find a car that has everything this car has for 2,500 bucks. Literally. Because if you buy a Toyota or you buy a Honda that's got for $2,500, it ain't gonna have 124,000 miles on it, just not. And it's gonna be ratted out. And it's still gonna be worth twice what this thing's worth, because for some reason they hold their value when they're not even that good. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to own one of those cars for $2,500, because it's going to be a freaking sack of shit ultimately. So, you know, before everybody flames me for saying that this is a cool car or this is a good buy, really think about what I'm saying. Really think about and internalize why I would say that it's a good buy for 2,500 bucks. Take the Mitsubishi sign off of it. You know, just look at it as the car in general. Easy to work on, easy to maintain, has, you know, things that make it, you know, that's creature comforts, make it nice, a nice plush interior that's suede, it smells good, it's 4-door, it's 5-speed, it actually has a very responsive shifter, more responsive than any Honda Civic that I've ever driven, because I've never driven one with a race shifter or whatever else. But long story short, there's a lot of reasons why this car is a good buy at $2,500. So that's really it. That's pretty much all I could say about this thing. I do enjoy it overall. You know, it's probably a good solid 6 or 7 out of 10. As far as, it depends on how you want to rate it, obviously, but just overall quality, I'd give it like a 7. You know, it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's pretty sweet. So thank you very much for watching. You know, drop a comment, tell me if you agree with me or if you think I'm an idiot, and watch out for a lot of more content that's going to be coming out here. We got a lot of stuff in the works here, so thank you very much. Thanks for rolling on with us. Peace out, dogs.